Gen V Season 1 introduced a plethora of powerful new supes that added plenty of interesting abilities to the boys franchise, and Season 2 has only expanded this roster even more. After the chaotic conclusion to Gen V's freshman season, it's no surprise that Godolphin University has seen a variety of changes, not just with its students, but also with its staff. Alongside getting a new dean, Godolphin has plenty of other unfamiliar superpowered beings helping ensure the semester runs smoothly, which seems necessary now that some of Gen V's most powerful supes are back on campus. However, not all of the spin-off shows' fresh faces are associated with the university, as some answer to Vought directly. With the likes of the Deep and Starlight already appearing in Gen V Season 2's opening few episodes, the fact that so many fascinating supes are being added to the cast only strengthens the franchise ahead of the boys' final season in 2026, and each of these new characters' abilities is certainly worth understanding as the story continues. Stacey Ferreira, Stacey McGonagall, celebrating in Gen V Season 2. After the boys' Season 4's ending, it seems highly unlikely that Ashley will be running PR for Vought any longer, let alone Godolphin, but the university has found her perfect replacement, Stacey Ferreira. She first appeared shortly after Jordan and Emma arrived back on campus, welcoming them back before making it clear they had to abide by certain rules. Stacey essentially threatens to send them back to Elmira if they don't cooperate, highlighting her bold and fake personality. While we don't quite know the full extent of her powers, she has one standout trait, her stinger. Much like a bee, if Stacey uses her stinger, she'll die, but it also seems powerful enough to kill her target in the process. It is unclear whether she has any of the other abilities typically associated with supes, such as enhanced strength or endurance, but based on her role, it seems unlikely. Still, Godolphin's new PR rep is feisty and full of confidence, with her leverage over Gen V's main characters being every bit as intimidating as her deadly stinger. Cypher, Hamish Linklater, wearing a suit while conducting his class in Gen V Season 2. Cypher is easily the most important new addition to Gen V Season 2, given his overall role in the story. As of now, he is being presented as essentially the main antagonist outside the boys' overarching villains, but his true motivations remain unknown. That said, it's obvious he wants to test his students' limitations by pushing them as far as possible. His class was the perfect demonstration of that, forcing a group of young supes to face off against a trained hero, one who didn't hold back and caused significant injuries. Hamish Linklater's casting as Cypher in Gen V Season 2 also looks like the perfect fit, as he has conveyed the mysterious, morally dubious Dean to perfection. Unfortunately, his mysterious side also carries over to his powers, as we know almost nothing about them, something the main group admits themselves. However, the trailer did show him stabbing through his own hand without reacting, suggesting he has an extremely high pain tolerance, which could even be his main power. Additionally, he was also present during Marie's birth and doesn't seem to have aged much at all, which was also part of Stormfront's power set. Therefore, after the first 3 episodes, his powers remain the most lucrative to uncover, especially as he seems destined to be one of the boys' most menacing supes yet. Dognot, Zach McGowan, pressing against the ground and looking up in Gen V Season 2. As ridiculous as Dognot's introduction was, he does have a surprisingly good list of abilities. The bounty hunter was hired by Vought to track down Marie, using things like his enhanced scent and taste to eventually find her, where he not only held his own in a fight with the young prodigy, but he even got the better of her. It took Starlight's intervention to take him down, but the supe clearly has a lot to offer, despite his weird personality. He technically first featured in the boys' Season 4 while the 7 discussed bringing in new candidates, although he was quickly skipped over as a joke. However, clearly Vought found some use for him. His brief appearance in the main show outlined his key powers, which include super hearing, the ability to talk to dogs, night vision, and perhaps most surprisingly, cancer detection. These attributes may not make him the franchise's most powerful hero, but he is certainly more ferocious than he appears. Assuming he returns in Gen V or the boys' Season 5, the fact that he can use canines to his advantage, alongside being an expert tracker, means he could still be a problem in the future, in spite of his bizarre personality. Modesty Monarch conducting a seminar in Gen V Season 2. She may have only had one appearance so far, but Modesty Monarch undoubtedly has an influential role in Godolphin University as part of the marketing program. Leading a seminar titled Advanced Influencer Fluency, Modesty Monarch proudly pushed the sort of media rhetoric Vought wants its young students to hear, despite how dangerous and manipulative some of these agendas seem. While influencing isn't a power of hers, at least that we know of, it has certainly been her most prominent trait. Sadly, what her exact abilities are remains unknown, but given that her wings resemble those of a butterfly, it can only be presumed that her powers may have something to do with the insect. One of Emma's classmates did question whether Modesty Monarch's wings actually work, and given we've seen very few Supes fly in the boys, it only raises more questions about what the teacher's true abilities really are. Therefore, we can only hope that Gen V offers more clarity on this as Season 2 continues. Vicar, Tate Fletcher, smiling towards the class in Gen V Season 2. Vicar made his first appearance during Cypher's class, where he gleefully fought Godolkin's top students as part of a training exercise. The combat-experienced Supe had one simple job, to prevent the students from pressing the button behind him, and he was given free rein to attack without remorse, leaving several class members severely injured since he didn't hold back. Despite wearing armor and wielding a large hammer, Vicar also showed feats of superhuman strength, as he was able to throw people across the room effortlessly and managed to hit a plated weight so hard with his hammer that it knocked a student out. However, his most impressive trait was resisting Marie's blood manipulation. While the protagonist dropped him to a knee by tampering with his internal blood, Vicar managed to beat his chest before walking forward and choking Marie, who was only saved by Jordan pressing the button. Gen V is yet to answer the question around why Vicar specifically targeted Marie, but it was likely a request from Cypher. Frustratingly, his true motivations remain unclear, as do many of his powers, but Vicar is undoubtedly a strong brute with extreme invulnerability, making him a powerful new addition. The Rememberer looking at polarity in Gen V Season 2. As his name suggests, the Rememberer's power is pretty self-explanatory, as he seems to have the ability to remember everything. He essentially has the perfect photographic memory, which he highlights by recounting the last time he crossed